This is a really wonderful article. Poll: half of Americans say Trump is a victim of a witch hunt as trust in Mueller erodes. This is actually a really great article from USA Today that shows the 2 years of nonsense, of a fabricated probe, of an irrational McCarthy era. Really what it was is a witch hunt perpetrated by corrupt officials like Clapper and Brennan and Comey and the Democratic Party in search of just saving face after losing miserably. This just shows the 2 years of the most ridiculous and absurd narrative. Trump worked with Russia to hack the DNC to inform the country that Bernie Sanders was cheated, and also to purchase Facebook ads, which miraculously gave Hillary Clinton the popular vote. Let's read this. Half of Americans say Trump is victim of a witch hunt as trust in Mueller erodes. Amid signs that special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian election interference may be near its conclusion, a new USA Today Suffolk University poll finds that trust in Mueller has eroded, and half of Americans agree with President Donald Trump's contention that he has been a victim of a witch hunt. Support for the House of Representatives to seriously consider impeaching the president has dropped. Wow. Since last October by 10 percentage points to 28%. So then, of course, despite that, the survey shows a nation that remains skeptical of Trump's honesty, as if Hillary Clinton surviving Bosnian sniper fire and utilizing a server outside of the United States government with top-secret intelligence was done for convenience. Honesty and deeply divided by his leadership. A 52% majority said they have little or no trust in the president's denials that his 2016 campaign colluded with Moscow in the election that put him in the Oval Office. 52%. Now, think of it this way. Half of Americans say Trump is the victim of a witch hunt. The number does reflect an improvement from previous polls. 1 year ago, 57% had little or no trust in his denials. In December, 59% did. Okay, so 28% that said they have a lot of trust in former FBI Director Mueller's investigation to be fair and accurate. In comparison, 30% express a lot of trust in Trump's denials. First of all, it's not about denials or saying that he didn't work with Russia. There's no evidence. So let's see. Half of Americans say Trump is the victim of a witch hunt. All right, so let's see here. Mueller indicted 34 people. Oh my God, who cares? It has nothing to do with Trump or Russia. Nothing. President Obama presided over the sale of 20% of U.S. uranium capacity. Gee, what could you build with uranium? I guess Facebook ads are a lot more important. But you have 52% say they don't trust his denials, but half of Americans say Trump is a victim of a witch hunt. So it just goes to show that polls, the only poll that counts is election day or your vote for Congress or your vote for the president. That's it. That's the only poll that counts. On November 6th, November 8th, 2016, there was a poll. Clinton lost that poll. It was called the presidential election. But Mueller indicted 34 people. Who cares? Including Russian intelligence operatives, based on the information from CrowdStrike, which was outsourced by Democrats. And all of this was based on the Steele dossier, and I explained in my last two segments. The Steele dossier was fostered by the UK government, and this is a tweet that President Trump shared from William Craddock. The UK had an interest in promoting a hardline stance within the United States government against Russia because Russia supplies the EU with over 30% of its oil and gas needs. And this was all part of this. A hardline stance helps UK foreign policy, but I explained that in my last two segments prior to this one. The indictments detailed the eagerness of the Trump campaign to benefit from a sophisticated Russian effort to influence the 2016 election. It wasn't sophisticated. These were Facebook ads, the majority of which were seen after the election. 50% say they agree with Trump's assertion that the special counsel's investigation is a witch hunt, and that he had been subjected to more investigations than previous presidents because of politics. 47% disagree, just 3% don't have an opinion. So, about 5 minutes into this, I should have just dwelled on that the whole time. 50% say they agree with Trump's assertion that the special counsel's investigation is a witch hunt. 50%. Now, why is that important? That's important because every single day, the Democrats weren't worried about voting rights. They could have. There's a 2015 Voting Rights Amendment Act from John Conyers when he was in Congress, and Jim Sensenbrenner, a Republican. If they cared about the Voting Rights Amendment, if they cared about voting rights, they would have furthered the Voting Rights Amendment Act from John Conyers. They don't care. They utilize these issues simply to attain political power. They don't care about their constituents. They don't care. There's legislation they could vote for when it comes to Voting Rights Amendment Act or Medicare for All. Where's the Medicare for All bill? I thought people are losing their lives because there's no Medicare for All. Where's the bill? AOC's on Twitch. She's on Twitter. She's cooking lasagna. She's buying furniture. There's no bill that she's sponsoring. Then there's like shady campaign finance, potential violations, potential, like James Comey says, potentially grandiose violations. Potentially. 50% say they agree with Trump's assertion that the special counsel's investigation is a witch hunt. This is important because despite 2 years of every single day, non-stop, every single day, non-stop, 24/7. Could he be a Russian agent? Could he be? They are guilty of everything they project. Cash flow to the Clinton Foundation amid the Russian uranium deal. They think it's a conspiracy theory. That they think that, oh my God, how could you connect the dots between money flowing from Russian sources into the Clinton Foundation and Bill Clinton meeting with Vladimir Putin and William D. Campbell, which was in Newsweek, and William D. Campbell, the FBI informant, saying the Russian lobbyists were bragging over their influence over the Obama administration and Hillary Clinton's and the Clinton campaign, and yellow cake uranium being shipped out of the country under Robert Mueller's watch while he was FBI director under President Obama's administration, during the administration, and the Committee on Foreign Investment, composed of only Obama loyalists, allowing the deal to go through. And Clinton was on the Committee on Foreign Investment. She was supposed to be such a staunch opponent of Russia. Why didn't she protest the deal? Why didn't she raise any concerns? Isn't Clinton the one who says, gosh, a person in my position, we're told always not to talk. We're told to be quiet. No, and I'm going to speak out. Well, then why didn't you speak out about the sale of 20% of U.S. uranium capacity to Putin? I mean, it's absurd. The whole thing is absurd. You have then you have President Obama saying, "Oh yeah, to Mitt Romney, the Cold War is over. The 80s want their foreign policy back." Then you have President Obama on a hot mic, which is far more important than the Access Hollywood hot mic, saying, "Oh yeah, I'll have more leverage or more leeway once I get reelected," to Medvedev. And Trump is the right, and people eat it up. They believe it. They don't know. We still do not know How many people were influenced by this sophisticated Russian campaign of Facebook ads with Buff Bernie coloring books? Which Facebook ads? Have you seen these Facebook ads? Have you seen these nefarious Facebook ads? I haven't. I mean, I have, but have you? Which specific Facebook ads targeted swing states? We don't know. How many people were influenced from these Facebook ads? We don't know. Why is it that the vice president of Facebook advertising says that the goal wasn't to influence the election, it was just to sow discord, which is ridiculous. Because we were all, correct the record, spent $1 million on trolls, on social media influence to attack and insult and demean and berate progressives and conservatives. I used to be a progressive. I used to be on the left. By the way, I have a fantastic article coming out, hopefully very, very soon. You will love it. It's the best. It's one of the best articles I've ever written. Or I should say, it's one of the best articles on this subject, or the subject matter. So it hopefully will come out soon. I can't wait to share it with you. Half of Americans believe that Trump is the victim. Half of Americans, 50%, say they agree with Trump's assertion that the special counsel's investigation is a witch hunt, and that he's been subjected to more investigations than previous presidents because of politics. Could you imagine? There's 2 years of nonstop propaganda from a machine, a machine that is this is a grandiose machine. The Washington Post, the New York Times, MSNBC, CNN, BuzzFeed. Then you have other publications, Daily Beast, all of them. Late night talk show, Hollywood, celebrities, music industry. I mean, you have non-stop propaganda. Orange monster, bad, racist, orange monster. And only 50% after 2 years. When there should be like 90%. Oh my God, well, the evidence shows. No, there was nothing. There was never anything. It was perpetuated in large part by the UK government. And I explained that in my last 2 segments. And that's not blaming the UK at all. I'm just saying you had officials there teaming up with corrupt officials in the United States of America, James Comey, John Brennan, James Clapper, obviously Clinton's campaign, who purchased the Steele dossier from an MI6 agent. You have GCHQ, oh my God, the British version of the NSA saying, oh, well, Trump might have, there's suspicious contacts. There's all this suspicion, and yet no suspicion for Clinton and money flowing into the Clinton Foundation. It's just a coincidence. So when people at MSNBC say, well, there was a committee, right? So it was a coincidence. You think that money flowed from Uranium One officials into the Clinton Foundation as a coincidence. It was an accident. They did so for altruistic reasons, just like Boeing and UBS and the money they $10 billion that is nowhere to be found with Haiti, and 85 donors giving $156 million. It's all altruistic. It's all because they care about the world and the planet. They don't have any interests of their own. When Clinton gets indicted, and she will, either before or after she runs for office again, she's running for president again. You think the Democrats are going to roll with Beto O'Rourke and his poetry, or Amy Klobuchar and her salad, or Kamala Harris and inhaling, or Elizabeth Warren, who failed her DNA test, or Biden, who, the poor guy doesn't want to run? Even if he decides to run, it'll be just to appease Democrats who are petrified of losing. This is a money-making endeavor. Running for president is a money-making endeavor. Raising that money, the different ways they could skim off the top, the different ways they can benefit from the networking. It's a money-making endeavor. You think people spend $300,000 to sit next to a Hollywood actor? I think it was Clooney, and Hillary Clinton for what? For their health? No, because they have a film to finance. And everyone at that fundraiser is super wealthy and super connected and has access to money to finance a film or a project or whatever, or a business. These are networking functions. When you have a Clinton fundraiser and people spend $30,000 a plate, it's not to hear Clinton's voice. Why wasn't I 50 points ahead? All of this was done to frame Trump, and we know that we all know this. The notion was absurd that Russia would work. There's still zero evidence. They keep on saying words like this is a sophisticated campaign. What, Facebook ads? Anyone can purchase a Facebook ad. It's not sophisticated at all. Twitter bots? Anyone can purchase a Twitter bot. Yes, they want. Why? They still didn't explain. Nobody in the U.S. government ever explained why they'd want Trump over Clinton. We have no clue. Obama didn't do anything. Obama didn't even sell Ukraine weapons. Trump did. Putin was not afraid of Clinton at all. Why? Because he is Bubba Bill. Hi, Vladdy. How are you? Don't let my wife ruin our great relationship. By the way, thank you for the caviar and the vodka. It's fantastic, and all the desserts, if you know what I mean. The best part of visiting you, Vladdy, at your home outside Moscow, is the desserts. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. The Russian delicacies. I love those times we shared together. A lot of wonderful people at your place outside Moscow. Oh, don't worry about Madam Secretary. Believe me, any chance I can get to be away from her, I will. You think they're worried? You think Vladimir Putin's like, oh my God, Hillary? He doesn't care. He already got... He was able to get a deal. He was able actually to funnel yellow cake uranium outside of the U.S. government. This was in the New York Times. Cash flowed to Clinton Foundation amid Russian uranium deal. And then Raw Story writes a dumb article about me. Hillary conspiracy, a blogger. I love how they say blogger to try to, okay, whatever. But then, they don't realize that I quote from the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, the same sources that they view. Well, certainly not Raw Story, because that's like the whatever. But I quote. So there's nothing I do that's not public record knowledge. My writing. I'm one of the few writers that there's hyperlinks to everything that when I make a claim, hyperlink to it, and you can go. It's either to the New York Times or whatever. So everything I say is public record knowledge. There is no public record knowledge of any evidence that Trump worked with Russia, and even the notion is absurd. And simply falling back and saying the intelligence agencies believe this, that it's not evidence, and anyway, they lie all the time, so who cares? When have the intelligence agencies been right about anything? Okay? They haven't. They spend most of their time, unfortunately, as political operatives, not taking care of protecting the country from serious threats. But anyway, hit subscribe right now to this channel. I have hopefully a great article coming out very soon. I believe hopefully it'll be published very, very soon, and you will love it. And I ask that you share it everywhere. And HA2A, check that out below. My segments. I'll have some new segments actually today, so check that out. And my Federalist articles are below. Ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe. Have a blessed day, and I will be back numerous times today. Check this channel. Thank you.